Hi, welcome. Hey, we've entered the comic talk zone, the comic bone zone.
Bone Zone
Uh,
Part 3.
Bone Zone Part 3. It's talk comics to me. I'm Champ Champenstein.
I'm Heather.
Finger guns.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think
It's
I've ever used them, so I decided to pull them out this time.
You should use them more often. Make them part of your part of the bit.
My signature.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here to talk about comic books. Every week we try to do it. We do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think we do a really good job.
Yeah, we're great. Heather, go ahead. Talk about some comic books.
Okay. I have this one first. This is Kloss. This is a Grant Morrison and Dan Mora book. Um, I don't know, this came out in like 2016, something like that. So it's an old book, but the hardcover is very nice, so I decided to get it. If you don't know what this is about, it's about how Santa Claus came to become Santa Claus, but it's a Grant Morrison story, so it's crazy. Yeah, I've read this before. I have the trade for it, but I just thought
Mhm.
this looked so much nicer, so that's why I ordered it. Couldn't help myself. I love Dan Mora.
Yeah, it does look nice. I do agree.
The only thing that kind of stinks about it is like the gold here. When you like flip through it, it gives you like glitter
Oh,
on
interesting.
your hands, and it like even when you look at it, it's not just straight gold. There is actually like glitter on it, which I don't understand. But like my hands, like you do that. I don't know if you can see, but I'm just like covered.
I can kind of see, but
It's very frustrating. And I just
okay,
noticed that like when I brought it up here a little bit ago, I was like, what
it's
is
really
on my
funny.
hands? It's glitter.
Good.
Okay,
Like
that's
Santa
all I got
Claus.
right now.
Okay, so I have one that I read off the wall. This is Archie versus the World. Just looked really cute. It was just really silly, just a post-apocalyptic Archie story where Archie wants to be the hero, Reggie is the bad guy. They get in a fight for the, I don't know, like just because Archie has to be a dude and he has to choose like to go with either Betty or Veronica and I think maybe Cheryl.
It's weird.
And he chooses to go off on his own, well, with Jughead. But
That makes sense to me.
anyway, it looks like the art is really like fantastic in it. Let me try to find in my personal opinion at least. I think it looks really cool and silly and at points, but
Oh yeah, that does look really cool. Can you show me a good one of Archie where you can see his hair?
oh, where you can see his hair. It's like the cover is what he looks like. This here, this is this best one.
Oh, okay. He's too
Yeah.
square.
I feel like because it's like fits the story and the way it's supposed to be told. Anyway, it was fun.
Yeah.
Cute cute little one shot. Uh, and then next I have Sins of Sinister. I won't talk about this too much because I know Heather hasn't read it. But I really fucking liked this. This was great. So Kieran Gillen does the writing, Lucas Wernick does the art, and then there's like pages of it that are done by like different artists. But basically Sinister is trying to pull off his like one of his plans, and it's kind of working.
His big heist.
His big heist of the whole entire world.
Nothing small for this man.
Yeah, not at all. This is like super extravagant. I just like I love the beats in this quite a bit. I think it was like a really interesting way to tell the story. I think just like my biggest complaint is the fact that like the axe event happened in the middle of it, so everything is like so staccato with this story, and I think it would
Um,
have really like been much better before the axe event because it feels like so weird with such like an event that was so like giant for us to come back to this, and it's also like very like extravagant in its own way. uh
mhm.
I don't know, I also feel like some parts of it would have just like flowed better, but that's I think my like one complaint about it is like I really liked it, but I think I would have really liked it even more if it had been like more connected with the beginning of Immortal, where we were like getting those like pieces and those like beats.
Right.
So
Do you think
anyway,
Magneto being there would have made a difference either way? No. Okay. I just because
maybe
he's like a big person in this whole thing.
yeah, maybe not, but I've kind of like I feel like in this world, like even though Magneto and Professor X are like such large parts of it, like even then they still like play such a like back seat role of like watching everything and controlling everything.
Hmm.
And in this, like, I don't know, you get a lot of like storm stuff. Like you just, I don't know, you just get a lot of like interesting ways of like how Sinister like weasels his way into everybody.
Okay. He is a
I
weasel too,
yeah,
so.
he is a weasel, and I'm sure it would have been different with like Magneto there, to be honest. But
See, I was thinking about that, but I am gonna read it, but it was just like a thought that was in my head, like,
it
is
also
it
feels,
taking place now because Magneto is no longer there and he can get away with that kind of stuff?
but at the same time, like the way that like Sinister went about his plan, he probably could have like also included Magneto in it, where he was able to like get control of him too.
Right. Okay.
So
Cool. Just
personal opinion, but I don't know.
yeah, I was just curious. I don't know.
Okay, you
Is it
ready?
both of us now? Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is Batman One Bad Day. This is Catwoman. This is by G. Willow Wilson and Jamie McKelvey. Does the art. This is just Catwoman doing a heist for a family heirloom that she feels has like connection to her and her family, which it does, but her sister is very much like, people over things. Yeah. Everybody like Catwoman looks hot as hell in this.
Yeah, what the hell? This art is so good.
Yeah, the art is great. The story is like really fun too. It's like not I don't know if, yeah, fun. Because you kind of see Catwoman being put in her place by this other
Hmm.
character, and you also see her like learning more about like her history as like a kid, and like the things that like really happened. Her
I thought you were
history,
gonna say her history as a cat. I was like,
her history as a cat. Um, yeah, I really like this one. I Not necessarily my favorite, but high up on the list. The art, yeah,
good.
the art is so great. Colors are wonderful too.
Yeah, it looks really good. I can't wait to finish it.
So yeah, that's all I'll say so I don't ruin it.
Okay.
Okay.
Next we have Detective. This is issue 1068. And it's just I was a bit confused. Maybe you can clear this up for me because this book is for me a little dense, like
Hmm.
especially with the way that like the previous issues have gone. I keep getting mixed up because the end, like the second story that was in it, that was the Harvey Dent story, correct?
Yeah.
And now they're merged.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my confusion because I was like, the way that it's narrated through Harvey in this one was exactly how it was in the second story in the previous issues. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
I was just making sure I was understanding that correctly.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, it's just like that's backup story just became also part of like we just saw like the behind the scenes of like what Harvey was going through in that backup story. And then now it's like come to fruition, like that, Two-Face is really here. And also the whole like backup story, he was also still asking like who Batman was to get like his identity.
Hmm.
I don't know. I really, really like this issue quite a bit.
Yeah, it was good. That was like the only thing that I was confused about because I
Hmm.
couldn't remember if that was like the backstory or if it
Yeah.
was part of the regular story before. But yeah, no, I really liked how it came to completion. Wait, what was the word that you used? Fruition. I like how they finally came together to tell the story.
Yeah, and like also the backup story is part pieces of the backup story are in your like front story, and I know
Hmm.
I really like the interconnection between those like the stories and how it's being told. it also like I think it helps if you read what the hell is the name of that book? Arkham City, the one I read like just a while ago back. Hold on.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't even think of what it's called.
Arkham Horror, right? Arkham City, The Order of the World. There we go. Remember, I kept trying to say Order of the New World.
Yes.
That book. I think it helps because the angel character is from that, though like the backup story when
Okay.
this began does go over all that's those pieces too a little bit. I think you kind of you're a little more like familiar with like because like Dr. Joy was in that too, so there's a lot of like connections. It's
Hmm.
not like necessary, but it does help, I think.
Right. It would make things a little bit clearer.
Or yeah, maybe you're just like you're like okay, I kind of more like understand who this boy is, not really, but
Hmm.
kind of.
Okay. And that was only like 6 issues, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Would you like me to go?
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. I do have two. I forgot that
Okay.
I put two at the second.
Yes.
So, first I have Dragon Age,
Hmm.
The Missing. This is issue number one. This, I love my Dragon Age stories. This one
Yep.
takes place directly after the game Inquisition. Varric and Scout Harding, if you played Inquisition, you know who these characters are. They are on a mission in the deep roads to try to find solace. So it basically is taking place in between the Inquisition and then the new game that is not out yet.
Hmm. Hmm.
I do like these stories a lot. I think they're a lot of fun. But the only issue I have, and it's such a dumb issue, is the fact that the covers are always done by Sashin Tang, and that one's not. All the other series, he's done the covers, but this
uh,
one is not. So I was a little peeved about it because I
that's
was like, how are
funny.
they going to have one series that doesn't have his cover? That's it. That's all
Yeah,
I have to say about
it's funny when that came in. When I saw it on the invoice, I was like, oh, that's probably for Heather, and I said it out loud to Haley, like when we were checking in books. I was like, oh, that's Heather's. I was like, I know that's Heather's.
that.
She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, Heather loves Dragon Age. I was
I
like,
don't know.
she just
There's
loves Dragon Age.
It's so strange. Like when I tried, because Julian mentioned he was like, "Yeah, I started. Do you know Dragon Age?" And I was like, "Yeah." He started playing Inquisition, and I was like, "Oh, let me tell you everything about it that I love." And it turned into this whole thing where he was like, "I'm not very far in it, so I don't know what you're talking about." I was like, "Sorry, my bad. I
No,
just love it so much."
yeah, you really do. Okay, go ahead and talk about your next book.
Okay, so I have this.
Yeah, I didn't read that this
No,
time.
it's good. It's good that you didn't, because this one kind of puts like a weird. I felt weird while reading
Mm,
this one. Like
okay.
I felt uncomfortable
I
to a
was like, are
point
you
where
looking for the police in your home?
that's how it felt. It was so weird. It's like, the same as it's always been. The Domino is like very self-destructive and she wants someone to kill her and all that, but then there's all this other stuff going on. And in this issue you meet the man who essentially took her from her normal life and made her into who she is.
Hmm.
There's like a feast on humans. There's like a murder of two young, like, I'm gonna call them children because they're younger than me and they look like children.
Hmm.
There's a murder of them, and then there's a lot of banging and blood, and it's like it made me feel weird because it kind of felt like it was glorifying this lifestyle.
Okay.
Um, and the note in the back, the author's note, really does explain a lot about the research that went behind this, but
Hmm.
it's still just like it's uncomfortable. It's
Yeah, I
very
get it.
uncomfortable because I'm like, where is the line of it like telling the dangers of this kind of like world and this stuff that actually does happen, and then like at what point is it you glorifying it?
Yeah, like where is the line?
Yeah,
And if
it's
somebody's like going at this, like who enjoys this sort of thing, like will they just like not even think about those things?
yeah, it's very weird because I there's not one character in here where you're like, oh, they're being forced into this. Like, this is terrible. No, these are all decisions that these people are making, and we're still like following them to like feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just very strange. I will say, of course, like the art and the colors in this are absolutely incredible. But it's like this story is like, how much more can I read?
Yeah.
I feel like I did like a deep dive on YouTube and ended up in like the weird stuff that does not belong on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. And stuff like you're just like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff doesn't bother me, especially when it's like in this form where I'm like, okay, this isn't real, like I
Mm-hmm.
know that. I'm not like, but it's still just like, why does it exist? Why is it here?
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I guess it's my turn. I have Human Target. This is issue number 11. This is a book by Tom King and Greg Smallwood. Uh, Christopher Chance. Somehow I
That's,
could not remember the name Christopher Chance for the life of me. This whole basically 11 issues I've talked about this book. That's the
I don't
Human
think
Target's
I've
name.
ever once heard you say his name because that name does not sound familiar to me at all.
Yeah, I think it was like in this issue where I read it and I was first of all, if anybody, nobody, I mean, there's people who listen who probably know me. I know so many Christophers or Chris's, and like I have at least 5 close friends where their name is some form of Christopher, including my fucking partner that I've been with for fucking 8 years. I could not remember the name Christopher. Anyway, Christopher Chance, the Human Target, has been poisoned when he was posing as Lex Luthor. He had 12 days to live. He's been trying to find his who killed him basically. He's been working with ICE to figure this woman named ICE to figure it out. They've been kind of going through like different members of the JLA. And in this one, everything comes to, or the last one, and part of this one, like everything has come together where he finds out who has killed him. And I don't know, I really, really I like this issue. I don't know, I really like this book. I think it's a really interesting story, not surprisingly, but the way it's told is really intriguing. And I like the twists and turns of it. I think I like the art a lot. So that's part of the reason I've been like really drawn into it. But I don't know. This was one of those ones where you have a pretty good idea of who the killer is all along. Then you have a lot of like red herrings thrown at you to like distract you from that fact. And that's, excuse me, a whole part of this book as well. Uh, so I don't know. It was really good. It's well told. I'm curious to see what happens in issue number 12.
Was it who you thought it was?
Yeah, yeah.
But it
Because
was still like an interesting reveal.
yeah. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
and the way this like ended too, you're just kind of just like, the stakes have been really high this whole time. And, his life has been on the line and he's been out for revenge. And this is like, all of this is like everything has been leading up to this moment that he is in. And it is like very extreme.
Cool. I love
So,
that. That cover's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. It's a Michael Janin.
Oh, we love that man.
Yeah. And
Very
yeah, it
good.
says Christopher Chance on the cover too. So,
Oh yeah, it does. Very good.
anyway, next I have Sabretooth and the Exiles. This is issue number 3.
I wasn't sure if you were still reading that.
Yeah, yeah. I've just been getting like the alternative covers and special ordering them. But lots of stuff has been happening, so I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just a really good book, continues to be incredibly interesting, and I feel like it's saying a lot. Boom.
Boom. Got
Poster.
it.
Okay. Heather, you
Ready?
talk about, yeah.
Okay, we have Creep Show. This is issue number 5. This is the last one, right?
Yeah, for this season, it sounds like they're gonna do another one.
Okay.
At least
Do
like
you
the way
know?
it read in the back in the
Yeah, that's
letters.
what I was wondering because in the front it even says volume 1,
Okay.
number 5. So I had assumed that there was going to be more, but I don't know. It also just looks cool with it like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Creepshow is a horror anthology. There's 2 stories in each issue. The first story is called Thirst Trap, and it's just about a guy and his phone. It's a little more than that, but that's,
Yeah.
the basis of it. I would say a cursed phone.
Yeah. A cursed phone is the best way to describe it for sure.
And then the second one is called Husk, and it's about a debut. How do you say that word?
A debutante
Yeah, debutante ball,
ball.
where this girl is, being trained to enter it. I don't know anything about this sort of
To
thing,
be
but
the top-notch debutante.
yeah, to be the number one Texas debutante. But basically she is not who she's supposed to be.
Yeah, that one was like probably my favorite one of
It
the
was
two
it
this
was a lot
time.
of fun. I wasn't like looking at it at first. I was like, I don't really know if I like that art, but then like as I read the story, I was like, yeah, no, I like the art. It's really cool with the
Like,
story.
yeah, I know the art is so good with the story. That was like, yeah, also another part I really enjoyed. The first story was like interesting, and I did like the way it was told. It just like definitely was not as good as that second one.
Yeah, there's always like one that is just very clearly better than the other,
Hmm.
which I think is like really cool because they're always both like fun and entertaining, but
Hmm.
one is always just like way better.
And these two kind of like I feel like fit together as well, like story wise. Like they
Hmm.
both kind of have the same themes going on, kind of.
Yeah, it's good. I hope they do continue with it because it's fun.
Yeah, I was saying I had fun.
It was so much fun. Okay. Next we have The Witcher, The Ballad of the Two Wolves. This is number 2 of 4. Um, Geralt and Dandelion are just doing their investigation to figure out more about the werewolf that is causing trouble and the 3 witches that are also causing trouble.
Yeah, there's lots of and this one just lots of people saying like it's like a he said she said situation, and like also town said.
Yeah. It's very much like he does not know who he's supposed to believe because they're all telling like pretty believable
I was
stories.
like their version of the truth, basically. Like,
Yeah. I do want to show my favorite page in it. Just
yes.
that one
Hmm.
killed me. I just thought that was very good. The art in this story is a lot of fun, and I do like these Witcher stories quite a
Yeah,
bit.
this
I go.
okay. Yeah, you go.
Okay. I have one left. This is Phantasmagoria. This is issue number 4. I think there's only one left. Um, yeah, this book is still very confusing to me.
Okay.
And I think it is, and I because I just can't tell exactly who is who.
Yeah.
But basically, a man is just investigating possessions and demons and stuff, and then there's other people who are trying to find him for other reasons. So it seems like it is coming to an end. I do like there's one character I can never remember her name, so don't ask me, but she's really cool. I like her a lot.
All right. All right.
That's all I got about that.
Okay. Okay, so then I have that Texas Blood. This is volume 3. I'm going to be good, and I'm going to just get this in trade. This particular book follows sheriff. His name is Joe Bob. Each story arc is separate, so you can kind of just like pick up wherever. Uh, because they're just like kind of like the first one is a story of two brothers, the second one is about a cult. They're just like his interactions with them. This story is about a serial killer who comes to their town during a blizzard. And I don't know, I just really, really like I like the tone like that this book sets a lot. I don't know, I was really into like the snow aspects of this like particular issue a lot.
Yeah, that looks really good.
And I like the way the serial killer looked too. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
eerie.
yeah, it was really eerie. And I don't know, the art is just really good. The story is really like intriguing. It's really hard for me to not want to grab it in single issues, but I feel like,
Since
God damn
you
it.
already got that much in trade.
Yeah, and also it's just like there's no need for me. I'm out of focus. Sorry, whoever is watching. Um, I feel like it's one of those things where it's kind of better read in trade. Like this would be one of those books where like especially like this story arc is really like gets really tense. So you just like want to know what happens next because I've been like I said to you, I've been reading a lot for school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like today I like picked up this book and I was like, okay, I'll read like a couple issues and then I'll put it down and like read some for school and like read a little bit more. And when I had to like put it down, I was like, no. And then I just like blew through the end of it when I picked it up again. So it was just it's really well done and like definitely draws you in enough where you kind of don't want to stop.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I definitely suggest it, especially if like you're into, I guess, kind of like weird crime stuff. Julian, one of our coworkers, for everybody listening, he like compared the second story arc to like True Detective, which I had heard somebody else talk about before, and I definitely
Mm-hmm.
see that like connection for sure. So
Yeah, he said what was the first one was like Walking Tall. Something like when he was trying to explain it to me yesterday. I think that was the movie he said, and I for some reason thought he said Paul Walker. I was like, I don't know what that means.
I don't know if Walking Tall, like, is that the one with Sean William Scott and The Rock?
I think so, yeah.
Is that
Because
his
that might have
name?
been, yeah, Sean William Scott. Yeah, from American Pie Stifler.
Yeah. Like, where did I pull that
Yeah.
dude's name out of? I don't think that's right, but
All right, let me do a little research here. I do think you're right.
I know he
Oh,
has a three name, like a three combination name though, and they're all like first names.
I forgot we were looking up Sue Grafton. Okay, so it's got Dwayne Johnson. It has Johnny Knoxville. No, he's not in here at all.
Okay. Oh,
But what
okay.
is the
But
one
it
with
it feels
Sean
like the
William?
same. There, I feel like there is a movie with the dude who plays Stifler that is similar to that, but I don't know what it is. And anyway, just tell me his name.
It is Sean William Scott. You're right.
I just didn't believe in myself.
No, you're right. And there, I don't. There
You know
doesn't
that
the
it's just
rundown.
because oh, the rundown, that is what I'm
The
thinking of.
rundown.
Is does that
That's
also
the
have
one
The
with the
Rock in
rock.
it? Okay.
Hmm. Yep. That's why we were getting confused.
I was getting my
This
early
is
aughts like action films that are basically the same with The Rock confused.
well, because
I was like, I
these.
can't.
There we go. The covers
Okay.
are all very similar. But anyway, yeah, Sean William Scott.
This is just like, thank God I watched American Pie so many times as a kid.
Mine was Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
That was mine with him. Okay. Are you
Let's move on.
okay? This is
Talking
Saga.
about Sean William
This
Scott. Sorry, it's
this is
Saga.
issue
Yes.
numbers. This is issue 61. This is back from another break. Um, I don't know what to say about this book that we haven't already. It's just following Hazel and I forget what the brother's name is. Prince Robot's son.
That's
Squire.
his Squire. Yeah.
Squire, that is him.
And you get some like nightmares. You get some ideas of where they are after their tree is burnt down. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I I don't know about the ending of this like issue. Yeah, I really don't. I still don't know how I feel about this book after its hiatus and coming back. Even now, I was like hoping that I would enjoy it. And there were beats of the story I kind of felt like I enjoyed, but at the same time, when I like thought about it as a whole, I didn't really want to read it.
I did like the beginning where you get to see like baby Marco and you can see like what kind of a kid he was, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, when he was
Yeah.
younger. I thought that was really neat. I like the reintroduction of uh Petrichor,
Yeah.
even though it was just like a very vague thing. And then there was something else. Oh, the whole the robot interaction. I thought that was really
Yeah.
funny too
Yeah.
because of the prince. But yeah, there's things about it that I do still enjoy, but overall I'm like I don't know how I feel about the story anymore.
Yeah. It's like I guess I don't know what the end game is. I guess I never knew what the end game was, but before it felt more like, I guess, linear.
Mm-hmm.
And in here I'm just like, I don't know how you're going to end.
Like what are we doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Because before there were like all these stakes and stuff, and they're still there, they're still
Yeah.
dealing with all that kind of stuff, but before it was more like apparent of like where the story was going, like the direction that we were heading, and now it's just like a bit stagnant, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
doesn't
suppose
feel like it's moving even though things are going.
I suppose that like that is also to be said with them being like laying low as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
That's
know.
true.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We're still working on it. We still got like what 39 issues left,
Yeah, we'll do this.
something like that. Okay.
All right.
Next.
So okay, so next we have Hitomi. This is issue number 4. This ends in one issue, but this follows Hitomi, who has been training with Yasuke after she's decided that she is basically training to try to kill him. And in here they've been separated. She has decided to go off to war. He's kind of just like smoking opium and chilling.
Just doing his thing.
But he hears of like her plans and the war and decides he needs to go after her. I don't know. I really like this story. I love the art quite a bit. I like the opening page with like his face
Yeah,
in the
it's
boat. I was kind
very,
of
very
like,
good.
go ahead.
I was just gonna continue with that, like just his whole origin, I guess. I don't
Hmm.
know what to his backstory. I like the way that it is drawn out and how the story is told.
Yeah, I it seems like
It's
they
a really good book.
yeah, it seems like they might do more the way the last little bit read for
Mm-hmm.
I think the next Hitomi's first journey concludes in this heart pounding finale. So that's about the next issue. So I just feel like it sounds like there might be more, which will be nice. But I don't know. I just really like it. I really like I like this issue because she seems like so like she's really not thinking it through. She's very much like you can see how young she is and how like she's not thinking that this basically being in the bringer of death will have any effect on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's at that age where she's invincible.
Mm-hmm.
She's allowed to make dumb decisions.
True, true. Okay, you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, we got
This
Behold
is
Behemoth. Oh, go ahead.
it's issue number 3.
Man. We're doing great. We're doing great this time. Uh
Yeah, it's really good.
this issue does
Okay,
oh,
so
oh God. Go, you go. I'm
I
stopping.
was just gonna talk about it.
Go.
Um, you get background on what exactly is happening in this story. Like what is his name?
Ren?
The boy's or the man's name?
Yeah,
Grayson. Ren is the little
the
girl.
girl.
Okay,
Okay.
yes, that's what it is. Mr. Grayson. Um, you figure out like what his role in this is, and the little girl Ren, who had been having issues in the former two issues. Um, and then yeah, it explains what the two worlds that we've been seeing, like what they are and how they take place in the story.
Sorry, my cats are growling at each other. Yeah, no, I like this issue because it does like bring everything together finally. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting for like I liked the last two issues, but the way like they're broken up was like just like I just need a little bit more information, and this definitely gave you all of the rest of the information I felt like you kind of needed for the book at this point. I do want to say like this spread that Nick Robles did, gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
looks wonderful.
So good.
I like the stakes of the story itself. Yeah, it's really like besides being like well drawn, it's just like a really interesting story.
Yeah, and I do have to say, I feel like the way that they did this, like the reveal and stuff, like I like how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it makes sense, like obviously why the last two issues were pretty confusing as to like
Yeah,
what was going on. I like the way that it like yeah all ties together in
together.
this one, because now we know like what he is and like what he's doing and what she
And
is and stuff. And it's I really like it. It reminded me a bit of there was a Valiant book that I read like a few years ago that had like a similar kind of vibe,
mm-hmm.
especially with like the relationships of the characters and stuff. That's what it like reminded me of, and I really liked that story. So I thought this was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm never gonna get back in focus, so I think that's all we've got.
Thank God that's all we've got.
That's all we've got, even though there's still plenty more comics on the shelf. Look at that butt. It won't focus me. Anyway, thanks for listening or watching, whatever you're doing. We appreciate your support and love. Uh go
You're
support your local
focused.
I'm focused. Go support your local comic book shops, go take care of your friends, take care of people you don't know, do good things. Heather, what you got?
I didn't have anything planned today. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't have anything to say. Maybe
Just
next
be
weekend I'll think of
yeah,
something.
just be good. Just
Just be a
please
good
be
person.
yeah, just be a good person. That's all I can ask of you. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you on the flippity flip.